Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at the Gundvolva here in the HD Witch from Mercury line. A little bit of an odd name, I'll admit, yeah, but it does look like a really cool design. Witch from Mercury designs have been really impressive, just not only in like the Gundam designs, but in the mass-produced mobile suits here like this. Also, really impressive designs here for these, where they're very simple kits like this one. You know, you've got your shield, beam saber, beam rifle, nothing too crazy, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, so I can't wait to go ahead and check this out. Let's get into it here for today's video. Alright, taking a quick look here at the box art before we dive in. You've got some cool artwork as always with the 3 suits there you can see, and as always a lot of really nice color effects going on here with this. The painting style of the box art here for the series, always very nice. On the side of the box here you can see this is number 24 in the line, also that it's a pretty thin box, so not going to be a whole lot inside here. On the bottom of the box we have a recreation of the box art here with the model kit, and then a couple other photos showing the model kit in some kind of different poses and showing the different weaponry that it has included there. The beam rifle, shield, beam saber, as I said, and over here the unpainted state, how it's going to look just straight out of the box. On the other side of the box there we've got a look at the fully painted kit front and back. Love that like quite sizable shield that it has on there, or quite long anyway I guess I should say. And then a little bit of information here about the Witch from Mercury story. And with that, we can dive into the box. Now, we should have a pretty good idea here what to expect with this one. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the instructions first. Once again, we have our box art illustration there, minus the background. And down here at the bottom, some information about the mobile suit there in Japanese and in English, if you wanted to check that out. Around here on the back side of the illustration of the mobile suit right there. Then we got some more photos and information here about some of the features, the shell unit there in the chest. We've got about the shield, then down here about the beam carbine, some photos there in some different poses, kind of like what we saw on the outside of the box there anyway, and then our color guide is down the side right there. Opening it up to the inside, we've got our parts list, and the first page of construction is here in full color, and after that it's just all black and white here for the rest of the construction. So let's take a look here at what else we got. Our foil stickers look like they're mainly just going to be for the eyes and head camera part there. A green one looks like probably for the camera for the beam carbine, the sticker for the shell unit, and that's about it. So pretty simple on the foil stickers we have included. Our beam saber effect parts here are going to be SB13 standard 1/44 scale beam saber effect parts, this time in clear blue, which is kind of nice, change of pace there. Our A runner here, although it doesn't necessarily look very colorful, is in 4 colors. You got a couple of off-white parts at the top, a couple of clear kind of dark grayish black kind of very dark clear parts over there on the side. This kind of like very light grayish lavender color there for the main color of the mobile suit, and then this kind of darkish bluish purplish color there, a couple of parts there for the shield looks like. Whereas B1 and B2 are going to be the rest of our dark gray parts there for some weaponry, and then mostly for like the joints and mechanical parts of the mobile suit. Runner C then is going to be our other main color. For the armor is just kind of like a warm light gray kind of color there, pretty nice. And last but not least, Runner D has one little part here in yellow for the head, and that is going to be about it. Alright guys, and here's the kit all put together. Understandably maybe a little bit bland if you're not into the color scheme just based on the colors. I know some people don't really like the all gray color scheme, but I think it looks really good on this mobile suit, and it's just a really good looking mobile suit in my estimation. Of course that's also subjective, but you guys can let me know what you think. Really cool design. I do like how there's a lot of familiar elements in this design from previous releases in the line, but there's a lot of really cool stuff going on here with just the shapes and the design and everything for this. Gonna be a really fun kit to just do a fun paint job on, customize a little bit maybe. I think it's gonna be one that you can pick up for relatively cheap. There's not a whole lot of prep work going into it ahead of time, and it's just gonna be an easy kit to paint if that's what you're looking for. So definitely worth checking out, if only for that reason. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of the accessories here. And as we've seen, the accessories for this are not going to be necessarily very extensive. So first of all, we've just got its rifle here, or the beam carbine, I guess I should say to be more specific. It has a wraparound sticker there at the top for the camera. The ammo here unfortunately is only one-sided in that it looks good on one side and looks like a weird empty piece on the other side. Now the instructions specifically tell you that you can put it in the opposite way if you want to. So depending on the way that you have it posed, maybe you want to have it looking better from the front and like kind of like hide that other side in the back. It's just a shame that this wasn't molded as a piece that looks good from both sides. And I honestly don't really know why it was molded that way in general, why it has that little kind of extra tab on there. My only estimation is to do with the shield. Now here is the shield. Again, really nice design. I do like the shape of this shield, very long, but also very narrow, kind of interesting shape. We have our beam saber handles down here, which are removable, and you're going to use those with your blue beam saber effect parts. The attachment point here for this can slide up and down on a track, also very nice. And up here we have the extra ammo. Now this one is just two pieces connected together that plug into there. But I guess what you could do if you wanted to is remove this one and plug that up onto there like so. And then, but now you have nothing to put into the carbine itself. What you also could do is take these that are molded together and just cut them apart. So just carefully cut down the middle of there. I mean, it almost looks like they're molded in a way that you could even just like bend those and snap them apart, and then you would just have a little bit of sanding to do. But just to be on the safe side, I would just cut that a little bit with a knife, and then you could have basically 3 ammo pieces there. But again, they're all gonna look the same, as in they look good from one side and not the other. So I don't know, weird design, but effective in that the shield just plugs right here onto the forearm, and the arms are symmetrical. So you can plug that onto either the left or the right side, or you could plug it onto the inside or outside, anywhere where you might want to plug the shield, you can do that. The carbine, when not in use, can also be plugged here onto the side of the leg. It has that little tab there sticking out that just pops into the side of the leg right there. It doesn't fit on the back skirt, and that's because on the back skirt, kind of these long side skirts sticking out the back would be in the way. So it's kind of cool that you have an alternate place to be able to plug that. That's very nice. Taking a closer up look here at this, you can see where the stickers are. A sticker for the head camera, the eyes, under this part, the clear part there in the head, and then under the shell unit here in the chest. Again, if you remember from the sticker sheet, we had an alternate version which is not lit up in red there for underneath the head, but if you can use that if you want to. Also here on the sort of V fin, or the fins on the head, you have a safety flag on there. Cutting that off and sanding that down will also help to make that look nice and sharp there on the head. But the way the colors are layered, it looks really nice. How you have that white layer sticking out between the gray on the sides of the face is really cool. I do like that. I will say, as much as I love the design of like the arms, this whole chest, and the legs, especially a really cool design of just the armor and everything, the one part of this design that I don't particularly care for is the shoulders. The shoulder design does look very lazy in comparison, I feel like, to the rest of how everything else has this really cool and angular shape all going on everywhere. And then you get up to the shoulders and it's just like, well, here you go. There's like a couple pieces. IBO did this a lot with a lot of the HD IBO designs, or just the Iron Blood Orphans mobile suit designs. Had a lot of very similar looking shoulders. I don't really care for shoulders like this. They don't distract too much away from the overall design. I think it's still a very cool looking mobile suit at the end of the day, but just kind of my little pet peeve there. And maybe some of you guys agree, or maybe some of you guys have also thought the same thing. You can let me know down in the comment section. But, and again, to get the best effect out of the sticker here in the chest, I would just recommend using a dull toothpick to kind of work the sticker in and around the edges so that it's somewhat defined. I mean, it's behind that clear part, so you aren't going to see it that well, but just to make sure that it looks as good as you can get it to look, use something like that, a dull small tool there to press the sticker in and around the edges of the design. Other than that, the articulation on this all going to be pretty standard. If you go around here to its backpack, which is very small, minimal little thing here, these couple of bits here on the side are on ball joints. Those can move around a little bit, kind of up and down. You can change the angle of them slightly. Another somewhat unique aspect to this is the side skirt bits, but these also are very similar to like the Lifrith Thorn, so we've seen those before, or the Lifrith one of the two, the green one, right, has very similar kind of side skirts, I feel like. I will also just quickly point out the articulation here on the legs. It doesn't do anything too wild, as in it's basically just a double joint at the knee, and you have some nicer articulation there at the ankle, but the way that the armor moves around here on the leg is really cool. How you have separation of the knee armor, and also like this armor here on the side of the calf all kind of moves separately there for a really cool knee bend here on this, just the way that the armor moves. And then down here at the ankle even as well, it's kind of unique how the ankle moves at like sort of the bottom of the lower leg, and so the whole ankle moves backwards like that. The toe unfortunately only points down a little bit, but you can point that up underneath the feet. you have some empty gaps in there. A little bit of a seam line here on the side of the lower leg, and then up here on the forearms you have kind of a seam line there. If you don't want to dress that up as just like a panel line, this is going to be a little bit of a seam on your forearms, and that's really kind of about it for those. Alright guys, let's take a look at some poses here with this. Now with it having a very standard loadout of the beam rifle, beam sabers, and shield, it's all going to be, you know, pretty standard looking posing for this, but as we've seen with the line so far, all of the kits have really nice articulation. They're really fun and very easy to pose, so if you want to pull off some cool poses with your HG kits, these kits are very, very user-friendly when it comes to that. And the articulation of this, again, it does look really nice, especially in the legs. As I mentioned before, I do really like the leg design of this one and just the way that the armor looks in different poses there around on the legs. It's very cool looking, I gotta say. I'm also a fan of the high heel look on mobile suits, so that may sway your opinion one way or the other, whether you're also a fan of that look or not. But there's a lot of cool detail around on this one, and it once again has very little in the way of seam lines. So as I mentioned before, if this is a kit that you wanted to pick up and put together, as it is of course a pretty quick and simple build, and you want to be able to paint it up without having to do a ton of prep work on it, it is one that you could definitely do that on. And also very wide open to customization. I think there's a lot that you could do with kit bashing this with other Witch from Mercury kits or other HG kits or other option parts or option weapons, something like that. I can imagine you might want to spice it up a little bit, giving it some like custom weapon from the 30 Minutes Missions line or something like that. I think could also work quite well with this design. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. As always guys, if you want to check out the kit for yourself or any of the other kits from the line, check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. We've got all sorts of different model kits there, as well as tools and paints and supplies and everything, so check that out. And as always, if you feel so inclined to like the video and or make sure that you're subscribed while you're here, I greatly appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much. Until next time guys, have a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.